Okay, Laugh or Go Crazy's Book Talk. Michelle, we not only have The Shack, the ending of The Shack to talk about right now, which was mind-blowing, but we have some announcements about our new book club selection that you're going to talk about briefly, and then we're going to get into a quick blurb about The Shack. So, Michelle, tell us what's going on.
Okay, so March's book choice is the Van Gogh Cafe, and what we're going to do is we are going to have our book talk on March 20th. It's a Sunday. Actually, it's the first day of spring, and it will be at 7 o'clock at night. What we'll do is we'll just give everyone a month or 3 weeks to read the book. This is a very short read, so you'll finish it in no time. But in the future, we'll give everyone a month to read, and then we'll make sure you're aware of the book talk date. Steve and I will record a little something, just a quick reaction from us, and then we'll be live at 7 o'clock to talk with you back and forth on the chat.
Right, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on March 20th. So by March 20th, the Van Gogh Cafe has to be read, okay, and we will have a little audio podcast there. And then we'll, at 7, we'll be online and to a live chat. So we think that this formula or format might be a little bit more convenient. So I think that's good, Michelle.
Yeah, and I really, really enjoyed The Shack and this book talk. We're changing it up a bit, but I love the book club.
The book.
Love the book.
You know, we just read the last 2 chapters together aloud. And, you know, you were saying it's such a different experience when you're actually reading a book together. You know, you read a section, I read a section, and just instant reactions. And so obviously, the end of the book, Mac leaves the shack, but it was sort of his choice. You know, God had offered him to stay, Papa, to stay with Jesus and everybody. And Missy was going to meet her dad if he stayed. You know, Mac was going to be able to meet Missy and be with her. But that means that, he was going to die and be with them forever, which was tempting. And or meet up with Missy down the road, and go back to his life with Nan and the kids. And God said, basically, the choice is yours. But if you leave, you're going to always have us with you, within you. And we'll be close. Just because we're not going to be in the same room doesn't mean that you're not going to have that strong connection. You could even have just as strong as connection as being in the room, the cabin with us. And same with Missy, by the way. Just because Missy's not going to be with you, if you choose to leave, Missy will be within you as if she's in the same room. So I kind of like that part. And obviously, Mac did choose to leave. And, God had said something about impatience, that his love is not impatient, which means there's no time limit. They'll wait. Missy will wait. God will wait, and he will be with Mac until it's time for him to come home, basically. So, Mac, didn't you love that part, Michelle, in the shack?
Oh, yep. I love that. That was really great. And it must have been very difficult to have that choice. I can't imagine. I mean, he could have stayed with Missy, and that has to be tempting.
Because he so wanted to see her. And, basically, Missy was coming to the shack that afternoon. And, it was sort of this moment where they're all at the table, and it was decision day. Do we stay? Do we go? And Papa was proud of Mac that he chose that he was going to go and finish his life out and carry within him God, Jesus, Missy's love. And that was a wow for me. So Mac ventures out. The cabin he falls asleep. Basically the cabin is reverted back to the murder scene with the blood stain, and he wakes up and he's very groggy, and he gets in his Jeep in the snowstorm, and he's driving, in the middle of the night to get back home. And what happens, Michelle? He gets hit
by a drunken driver.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, this is the part of the book where you have to have faith in Mac's retelling of the story, because this is sort of the way out for people, for some skeptics who say, all right, if this is a true story, it could, we can shoot holes in this story if we wanted to, because, maybe he's delusional. Maybe it's the accident that caused a little slight coma, or maybe it was the drugs Mac was taking, in the hospital that caused this delusion of this story, right? Because some people can do that. Some people can say, this wasn't true. This was, because of the accident. But yeah, go ahead.
Well, when you read it, like when I read this part for the first time and he gets into the accident, I don't know, I was shocked. I remember being like, oh my gosh.
I know.
Like, he got for the first read, that part, I was so surprised. And that's why I think the author of this book did such a fantastic job writing it, leaving that up until the very, very end of the book. It didn't go on and on, the ending. Like, he was in the hospital, he had his recollection. Like, I like that it ended,
I did
but
too.
I remember being shocked at that point. Like, I didn't know, I had no idea how it was going to end.
And I was worried within the first read, like, is he ever going to be able to tell his story?
Right, like, is that, like, it didn't make sense, actually. I was like, why would that happen? Like, you have all this experience, you learn so many things, you're healing, and then he chose to stay, and then he gets into an accident. Like, I don't know. But one thing that caught me, Steve, was the part, I underlined it a few times, when God says, when you have me, you can live through everything. I want all of you and all of every part of you in your day. So in other words, I really thought that was meaningful. Like, you should be conscious all day long, every day, of being with God. Right. You know what I mean? Not just Sunday church, not just when you pray at night. It should be like an all-day thing. And when we read this together, it really resonated with me. And I'm going to move forward with my day on this beautiful Sunday that's supposed to be 60 degrees with earth's crammed with heaven. Think about that. The earth that we lived in is crammed with heaven. So everywhere you look, there's a little piece of heaven. Now, where you find it, right, where you find that heaven is through your eyes. And what I think may be a little bit of heaven may be different for you, but it continues and says, and every common bush afire with God, but only he who sees takes off his shoes. The rest sit round it and pluck blackberries. Elizabeth Barrett Browning. And that's how, they end the story. But, wow, I'm really going to look at today, in a different way.
God wants to be, Papa was saying, he wants to be included in the good, the sad moments, the uncomfortable moments, the slip-ups, the beautiful 60-degree day on a Sunday. He wants to be with us through it all. And you said it perfectly. It's not just the Sunday Mass. It's not just only when you need him. It's every day, every experience. The car wash. Like, for instance, today I'm going to wash my car. I'm looking forward to it. But he wants to be included there too. On the mundane, everyday, not mundane, but, the everyday moments, the run, the walking the dog, the having coffee. He wants to be with us on those small moments too. And I think that, you made me think about that just now. And that's so beautiful.
Yes. And, I know of people who have lost loved ones through tragedy. Like, really, 1 minute they're here, 1 minute they're gone. And what he says in the book, if you let me be with you, you will get through anything. And sometimes I see people, and sometimes, I see these people even in church, and this is going back a while ago, and I'll look at them like, wow, like they're here, they're functioning, they're getting through it, but I think that if you do believe in something, whatever it may be, in this book it's about God, so that's why we're talking about this in particular, but if you believe in something, you will get through your most difficult times.
Right.
It's when you have nothing to hold on to or nothing to believe in. I think life is so much more difficult.
No, perfectly said. Perfectly
said.
So I want everybody to, if they can, after hearing this, post their comments below on our chat forum. And Michelle and I will be checking in on Sunday night, and throughout the week to see what everyone's talking about. And we'd love to hear how you, I did this little activity with my kids and the kindergartners. It's called Heart Prints. Okay. And so we talk about all of the different times that we do something in life and we leave an invisible heart print behind to make the person better, your life better, the world better. And so what heart print has this book left on us?
Oh, I love that.
And maybe you could post that below. And I'm going to do that too, Michelle. And, doing this with you, Michelle, the show, the book talk, it has given me endless heart prints that I take with me forward. So I just want to say thank you, and thanks to the audience. And we hope you're living your best life, and we can't wait to read your comments.
Yep. Well, we hope you enjoyed it, and we look forward to many more books to be read together. And you know what, Steve? I would like to do this at the end of every book. You and I read the last chapter together.
Okay. That's a tradition.
Yeah.
All right. So have a great day, and we will see you soon.